Yeah, welcome to Point to Point channel. So today I will discuss about the importance of this at the rate lazy to one annotation and when do we need to use this annotation and why do we need to activate the bytecode instrumentation for these entity classes and will it really resolve the lazy loading issue which we have observed earlier at parent entity side with respect to at the rate one to one association, right? So yeah, without wasting time, let's jump into coding part. Yeah. So here you see like I have created a demo project sometime before. Here you can see I have two entities, employee entity and laptop entity. Employee is a parent entity which acts as a non-owning side. So here you can see we have a laptop and similarly laptop is a child entity. Okay, so now each employee can have one laptop and each laptop can be assigned to one employee. Now both this employee and laptop are associated with each other bidirectionally, one-to-one association, right? So now here if you see these are the two respective repositories. Okay, here I just enclosed my code within the transactional context. So just to showcase the usage of lazy initialization exception earlier. Okay, so that we will discuss after some time. Okay, so this is just a main class in which we have a main method. That's it. Okay, so this is just application dot properties in which I just maintain the data source properties for MySQL database. Okay, and this is just a test case. So in my previous videos where I just discussed about at the rate one-to-one unidirectional bidirectional association, there I just wrote all the test scenarios, right? For fetching operations, updating, deletion operations, right? So now, yeah. So before deep dive this at the rate lazy to one annotation, so first I will show you what is the current issue. Okay, so here, okay, here if you see, I'm just trying to fetch parent entity record, okay, whose ID is 1. Okay, so I'm just debugging this code. Okay, so meanwhile, I will show you what is there in the database. Okay, so here if you see in the database, I have two tables, employee laptop. Here you can see like I have one record for laptop whose ID is 1 and this is associated to this particular employee whose ID is 1. Here also you can see I'm just fetching this employee record. Okay, now let's come back to this coding one. Okay, guess still it is starting. So ideally, okay, here if you see within the employee, okay, I just mentioned the fetch is equal to fetch type dot lazy, right? So what does it mean? Whenever you fetch employee record, ideally it should fetch only employee record. That's it. It should not fetch laptop record. Why? Because we just maintained fetch is equal to fetch type dot lazy, right? And it should fire only one single query to fetch a employee record, right? So now here if you see, I'm just moving to next line. Okay, so here if you see, it has fired two queries. So one query is to fetch employee record and the second query is to fetch its respective child entity record also. So even after specifying fetch is equal to fetch type dot lazy, okay, it is it is fetching the records in a eager way, both parent and child entity records simultaneously. That's the issue, right? So um, so to overcome this issue, okay, so basically there are two solutions. That's what I mentioned in my previous video. Solution number one is we just need to eliminate bidirectional association at parent entity side. We just need to maintain only unidirectional association, that too from child entity side. Okay, and we need to have a shared primary key concept with the help of at the rate maps ID in the child entity side. So that is within this laptop somewhere we need to maintain here like this at the rate maps ID or something like. Okay, that I already covered in my previous video. You can just refer that particular video. I will specify in the description box. Okay, so by that way, we can what do you say? We can fetch a child entity whenever we pass a specific parent entity ID. Okay, we can fulfill our requirement even with this shared primary key concept. That is solution number one. Now solution number two is, okay, I don't want to maintain shared primary key. Okay, so here I'm just removing this. Okay, so for few cases, okay, for example, we have requirement like, okay, I don't want to eliminate this bidirectional association. I want to maintain this same association at both the parent and as well as child entity side also. Okay, so still I want to have a flexibility of this lazy loading even from the parent entity side. What should I do? So then in that case, we need to, we need to go for option number two. That is solution number two. So here, what we need to do, okay, we need to add two things. The number one change is just we need to add here lazy to one. Okay, here, yeah. So lazy to one. Here you can see this one. So we just need to add this particular annotation at the rate lazy to one, and we need to pass this attribute lazy to one option dot no underscore proxy. So that means we are not going to make use of this proxy concept for this particular requirement. So uh, we are going to take the help of a Hibernate Enhanced Maven plugin. Okay, so here if you see, I have this plugin. So we just need to add within the pom.xml here somewhere. Yeah, so here we need to add like this. Okay, so here if you see within this, we just enabled lazy initialization to true. Okay, so Hibernate Enhanced Maven plugin also supports a few more features like enable dirty tracking, enable association management, okay, enable extended enhancement, so something like this. Okay, so since our objective is to discuss this lazy initialization, I just added only that particular, what do you say? Let me resume this flow. Yeah, I just added only, what do you say? Enabled the lazy initialization to true. Okay, let me show you once again. Yeah, so this is the plugin which I added. Okay, that's it. So I just added this plugin, and in the parent entity side, I just added this annotation at the rate lazy to one and lazy to one option dot no underscore proxy. That's it. These are the only two changes. Okay. Now, uh, since we have added that plugin, so we need to build the project, right? So here I'm just building this project. Okay. So internally what happens as soon as we build the project, Hibernate Enhanced Maven plugin will activate the bytecode instrumentation for all the entity classes. So internally it will modify the setters and getters methods of these entity classes in such a way that field level lazy loading capabilities will be added. Okay. So yeah. So here you can see somewhere we can see, yeah. Yeah, so here you can see starting Hibernate enhancement for the classes. So now it was applied, but let's cross verify the same whether it is really added or not. So this is a target folder. Here you can see employee. Okay. So here you can see write underscore laptop, read underscore laptop. Here you can see Hibernate underscore get interceptor. So that means this is a newly added code. Here you can see these are all the newly added code. All this code is newly added code. Okay. So hopefully it should work. Okay, so why? Because now it has activated the bytecode instrumentation for this employee side. Okay, so now okay, so now let's try to run the same test case once again. Okay, so we just need to make sure. um, oh, here if you see now in the target folder we have only in laptop. So I guess employee related byte class was missing, I guess. Okay, let me open this once again. Okay, let's see what happens. Otherwise, we will rebuild once again. Yeah, so let's see. So here, if you see, yeah, as expected, I mean, it's not working. Why? Because here, if you see, it has fired two queries once again. Okay, it is supposed to fire a single query. Here you can see in the target folder, we have only a laptop entity, but not the employee entity. So something went wrong. Okay. So here we need to make sure, I mean, we have an entity properly, with the activation of bytecode enhancement. You see, now once I resume this flow, again I'm able to see this employee, right? So now here, if you see, again newly added, what is a bytecode instrumentation was missing here. Okay, so let me run this. I mean, let me build the project once again. Yeah, let me build the project once again. Okay, yeah, build is successful. Okay, now let's examine. Okay, so now again, yeah, again it has activated the bytecode instrumentation now. Okay, so I guess, okay, now let me run this test case once again. Hopefully it should work now. So ideally it should not disappear. Here you can see still we have this employee class. Okay, so ideally it should work. Let's see. It's taking a while. Yeah, it has stopped. Still we have employee entity. Hopefully it should work. Uh, yeah, so success. So here you can see now, I'm just opening this. Here you can make sure, see, we have enhanced bytecode instrumentation. Here you can see, and okay, here you can see it has fired a single query. It has fired a single query to fetch only parent entity record, that is this particular record. Okay, I mean, select star something something from employee, that's it. So there is no query for a laptop like what we saw earlier, right? So now obviously it will fail, right? That I already discussed in my previous video. Why? Because now this session has been detached. Now we are trying to fetch the laptop information on the detached entity session. So obviously it will throw lazy initialization exception. Let me resume the flow. Yeah, I will show 1 second. Here, let's examine this employee. Here you can see laptop null. So that means it has fetched only employee record. Okay. Now, whenever we are interested to fetch laptop information, then it will fetch the laptop information by firing one more query. Okay. So now, okay, if I resume the flow, definitely it will throw lazy initialization exception, as I said. So why? Because the transaction has been ended. So session, there is no session is attached to this particular employee instance. Obviously, it will throw lazy initialization exception. So here you can see somewhere here, okay, somewhere, yeah, lazy initialization exception. Here you can see the reason also, unable to perform the requested lazy initialization from Spring Boot something something, no session. Yeah, this is important. No session and settings. Okay, disallow outside the session, right? For this employee, right? Yeah. So now how to overcome this issue? So we need to write this code within our own transactional context. Okay. So what I'm trying to do, okay. So here I already wrote one utility class, right, for having lazy testing. So here only, okay, I'm just maintaining one more method. Okay, public void fetch employee. Okay, for example, fetch employee. Okay, so here, this one, and at the rate transactional we need to annotate with at the rate transactional. Okay, and we need to annotate at the rate auto void for this one, employee repository too. Employee repository. Yeah. So here you can see I just auto void employee repository. Why? Because we are going to make use of employee repository over here to fetch the employee record, right? So now, okay, so now we just need to invoke this particular method from our test case. That's it. So here you can see lazy testing dot fetch employee. Okay. So here now I am running the same code in the debug mode once again. So now this time it should not throw lazy initialization exception. Why? Because now we annotate, I mean we enclosed our code within our own transactional context. So ideally, as soon as this particular line executes, okay, it will fetch employee record, but still session is attached to this particular employee instance. So we can happily fetch the laptop information with the help of this employee instance. Still that is attached to session. Once we come out of this particular method, so then finally session will be ended and transaction will be ended, and what you say, all the DB operations will be performed at a single time. Okay, so that's the beauty of transaction, right? So yeah, let's see. Yeah, so here you can see now I'm just moving to next line. So as expected, it has fired a single query to fetch the employee information, and moreover, once again I will show you here. Okay, laptop is null. Okay, so now here in the second line I'm just fetching employee's name. Okay, I'm just moving to the next line. Okay, this assertion is I mean this got matched. Now here in the third line, this is interesting, employee dot get laptop dot get company. Okay, so here I will show you. um, yeah, so for example, you can cross verify employee dot get laptop dot get company. Okay, ideally we should get YO, I guess. So here, yeah, yeah, Sony, yeah, company is Sony, right? Why? Because in the DB I have already shown you. So laptop, here you can see Sony. Yeah, this is Sony company. Okay, so that means now it should have fired one more query. Yeah, you can see it has fired one more query to fetch the laptop information. By that way only we are able to see this company as Sony. So I'm just resuming the flow. Ideally, test case will pass, right? So yeah, so I think so I have shown you how this solution got worked in the case of one-to-one association, one-to-one bidirectional association from the parent entity side, right? So this is the, I mean, this is the demo. So, and one more point I want to highlight here is while implementing this particular demo, okay, so you just make sure here, I mean, you should not have this shared primary key concept, okay? So, so this is one thing. Yeah, what we learned here. Yeah. So just overall, I mean, just a final recap. I mean, I just added two items. So the first change is I just added Hibernate Enhanced Maven plugin in the pom.xml. And the second change is I just added at the rate lazy to one annotation with the attribute lazy to one option dot no underscore proxy, what you say, at parent entity side, okay, to get the benefit of lazy loading. Okay, and we should not add at the rate maps id in that the child entity side for the shared primary key concept. Okay, yeah, so that's it. uh, yeah, if you like my video, I mean, please like my video and share my video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.